Some of us was servers, some of us was teachers, and we just every other Sunday we'll meet, and then that would just motivate each other. And so at the time we didn't know what we were doing, but now looking back, all of us kind of have like are all engineers. Some of us are architects now, and we just all had a passion, and we just created accountability for each other. Go to different shops and try to find businesses say, hey, can I work here? Can I build a website for you for free? Just so that way, because I knew that about working, you got to have something on your resume. No one's going to hire you if you don't have any experience. So I think AI is going to take out more of the junior level roles, jobs, and those people who are junior level roles will have to basically learn a lot more and find a niche that they're really good at. And at the time, I was like, man, I was like, you know what? It's just me. I'm just going to bet on myself. And I went on my car, breaking down here and there, and I went. And it was probably the best experience there. I met a lot of people. I had this car, and I was just selling myself, saying, hey, my name is Khalif, this is who I am. And then 3 days later, I got this guy named Vlad called me and was like, hey, we want to bring you in for a job. And that gave me the most, like, for me at the time, it was that big break. It was like, okay, I got hired for something that I just taught myself.
Look, you probably have a security plus, maybe even a security clearance, but nobody taught you how to write poems, or how to test a security control, or submit an ATO package. I'm Chris Okpala. A few years ago, I was in your shoes, qualified on paper, but completely lost when it came to RMF. I had the degree, I had the search, I had the drive, but when somebody said how to test the AC2 control or validate STIG findings, I had no clue what that actually looked like. Fast forward 5 years, I worked across DoD and federal agencies, led control assessments, written ATO package, and passed audits. That's why I built RMF Academy, to teach you the real world execution they don't cover in certification books. Inside, I'll show you how to write a poem that don't get bashed back, test and validate security controls, translate tech jargon, navigate NIST 853 and RMF with confidence. If you're in IT supporting the government systems or stuck on the edge of cybersecurity, this is your way. The people who go through my training don't just get hired, they hit the ground running because they practice the work before day one. Go to rmfacademy.io and let's get to work. Welcome everybody to another edition of the Tech Woke Podcast. I'm your host, Chris, a cybersecurity specialist inside the GovTech space. In today's podcast, we're going to be interviewing a great guy I know. We became friends over a long period of time, building up the relationship. We met him at a Trabaja event. It was a Diversitech in Philly. He's one of the most interesting stories I've talked to. This guy is a self-taught software engineer. He's the founder of Black Tech Connect. He's been doing a lot of things to help Black people get into the tech space. And without further ado, Khalif Cooper, how you doing, brother?
Doing great.
So Khalif, we've been connected for a very long time. I met you at Diversitech. We just started talking. I remember, and one thing I did notice about you at that time, you had a great personality. You were just talking about, I think he was telling me he was working at CarMax. He was talking to some other software engineers. And you was always telling me about all the things that you've done. Self-taught engineer, a runner, improv. And I've been seeing you blowing up in Baltimore lately. You did 2 fire events recently, one at the Impact Hub. I think another one you just did down in Baltimore. We had over almost 100 people there. So I was like, man, we gotta let the audience know who you are. But I'm glad for you to come on the podcast.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it.
I appreciate you. So how's your Sunday going?
It's going great. Actually going really great. Good weather outside. It's going pretty good. Can't complain.
What you do? You just go out, just run some errans?
Oh, went out for a little walk today. Watch a movie.
I got you.
Back day.
No, I feel you. So Khalif, just to kind of know your story. I know your story, but tell me about a little bit of your story, kind of like in the high school. Like high school, was you always into tech? Was you always into entrepreneurship? How was it like in high school?
Actually in high school, I was a theater kid. I wanted, when I was younger, I wanted to be a chef, and then I figured out, the chef path was kind of expensive, and then I ended up going to take cooking classes. So I took cooking classes, but I also did theater, got really into theater, and I wanted to become a playwright.
Okay, so you always wanted, you was in the theater, so like you wanted to be on the big TV shows, like on Marvel, them types, or you just wanted to just be on like a play on stages?
So yes, I wanted to start out wanted to be an actor, but then I got to read more about like August Wilson. So August Wilson's like my favorite playwright, and then I was like, oh man, I can make money writing the TV shows instead of just acting in them.
Okay.
But
So you just want to be a writer. I got
yes,
you.
yes.
Okay, so you was just always into that, and you was mainly into improv. Like, what type of acting was you into? Like,
So I done some improv in high school, and I did some acting as well.
yeah. You're into acting, and you move on to go to college. And when you went to college, was you into tech? Was you doing theater? What was you doing in college?
So because I wasn't that great at like the academic part, so I actually ended up going to do theater there. But I did want to go and to do computers as well. But I ended up just doing actually kind of doing a minor and just learning. So I took a couple classes in coding when I was there, but I kind of focused on theater, and I did more the like and continued to do the playwright because it was easier at the time and it was still fun. So I focused there.
Okay, so you're doing this theater, the playwright, and you did some coding, but you didn't really dive into it.
Yeah.
So you was like you finished your program. Like, did you get into theater, or was there any money in it? Like, how did that work?
Oh no. So I just at the time I just did it purely for fun. I did when I was there I did write some of my own plays. I ended up working with like I don't know you watch like I said No Scrubs. Scrubs was a TV show. I ended up writing a play for Scrubs.
Oh, you did.
Yeah. Well, not sorry for Scrubs. It was so the Scrubs writer came to our school, and I ended up writing. We had like a competition, and we all wrote one act plays, and that was kind of fun. So I did that while I was in school. But yeah.
Okay, so you just wrote one act plays. I got you. So you graduated. Like, what did you do after school?
Oh, after school, I did a twist. So I found out that working as a playwright didn't make a lot of money. So I ended up during the summers, and when I was in school, I would go to summer camps. They just try. So I would go to Colorado every summer. And so I ended up taking a job in Illinois as a program coordinator, and I work with kids.
Oh, so you just work with kids. So, okay, the acting didn't work out.
Yeah, acting.
So you had to find somewhere to make some money.
Yes.
You know, that's how it be. Like, when I went to school, I wanted to major in biology. But my father, to this day, he said, what are you going to do with that? You know, and I thank God for saving me, because I was like, I didn't know if I really want to become a doctor. So, you know, if there's no money, you got to pivot. So you went to Colorado, you went to Illinois. You've been traveling, man. You just hop up and, were you couch surfing or, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I just want to, I've never, so I didn't know any, be honest, I didn't know any black people that went to Colorado. So I was like, we didn't travel as much. So I was like, I don't know anybody in Colorado. When I went out there, I was like, oh man, I'm the only black person here. And I went and I just wanted to see new heights. So when I went to Colorado, I also got to like try new things. And I just loved the fact of just traveling and trying things that I haven't done before.
Okay, so you working with kids. So you did all that. You dabbled in the plays. You dabbled in working with kids. Like, what sparked your transition to get into tech?
So what helped me? So I always say that like theater and me traveling and trying new things. I've always been curious. So the idea of me being constantly curious helped me get into tech. Because when I came back from Colorado after college, I didn't know what I wanted to do, and how I even got into that. I went to Rails conference, which was like a Ruby on Rails conference in 2015, and because I was so curious about the traveling and trying new things, that piqued my interest, and from there that kind of like got my launch into the tech.
Nah, because I know conferences definitely help, because like I didn't even know there was conferences till I almost hit 30. So I was like 27, 28, and that's when I started exploring conferences. You know, they're expensive too. So, yeah. And I bet you was talking to all these amazing people, and a lot of people that don't know, Ruby and Rails is a programming language. So when you seen all these people doing it, and I think that's for web, right?
Yes.
Web programming language. So I know it kind of sparked your interest. So it's like, and then you was in the environment to help you out. So you learned that, and you was like, I want to be a software engineer.
Yes. I just seen. I actually was working as a server. I used to work for as a banquet server, and I was just at the conference, and I just seen all these people, and I just like, you know what, they had engineers from Hulu, Square, and I just really was like that a lot. So I went and just taught myself. Okay,
did the money motivate you?
Not at the time.
Okay.
It was the fact that what motivated me. I needed money, but what motivated me at the time was the fact that they were doing something that I wanted to do, and I really, at the time, I still had that small interest of being into tech, and I just wanted to try something different.
Yeah, because that's what motivated me. I was like, man, I gotta get some money out here, man. I said, man, these people. When I started seeing all these black people or people just in general just paying all these, going on these trips, I was like, man, the money. I was like, I need that money, but the money don't keep you there. You gotta still learn. So
Yeah.
So like, what was that process? Okay, you was a server at the Ruby on Rails. It kind of motivated you. Like, so did you pick what type of software engineer did you want to be? Like front end, back end, web app or app? Like, what did you pick?
Oh, so I actually ended up going mostly JavaScript because I thought at the time JavaScript was like, that's when React JS or React JS, like a framework. Now it's really, really popular, but at the time it was 2015, it just came out. So I kind of did that, and I'm glad I went with that because now React is used everywhere.
So it's like for web applications or just for everything?
Yeah, you can build React JS, you can build mobile apps, you can build like React Native, you can build mobile apps, you can build web apps. You can do a lot with it.
Okay, so you can go with any job with that. Okay, so like you didn't go to school for that, right?
No, I didn't go to school for this.
So like, how did you get the motivation to kind of learn this stuff without going to school?
A lot of me, the motivation, a lot of it, to be honest, came from my mom. My mom always believed in me, and she always believed like, hey, you know, if my mom said, hey, if my mom said I wanted to become president, she put all that belief. So that over time ended up, for me, helped me where I believed in myself more than anything else.
Okay.
So I kind of just pushed myself every day to kind of do that.
Did you see anybody else that was self-taught?
At the time, no, not really.
Not
really.
So you was going to do something that hasn't been done before?
But yeah, pretty much.
That's amazing. And I relate to that because I don't think you know this. I originally was a criminal justice major.
Oh, yeah.
So when I got into cyber, I didn't really have no experience. In a way, self-taught. I did get my master's in it, but it didn't really help out, to be honest with you. It helps with getting more money, but it don't really help out. But I get where you're coming from on that. So you was just like, okay. And I have more admiration to you because it's like you're doing something, like you're literally just taking a risk.
Yeah.
Yeah, so like how are you learning this stuff? Like tell me like from the beginning, like from somebody, just go back to your shoes back then, like how did you learn this stuff to get into becoming a software engineer, being self-taught?
So it's actually two things. One was I would go on YouTube and I would go and find, like if I wanted to learn how to build a website, I would say, okay, how to build a website, but I would break it down into components. For example, if I were to ask, how do you build a PBJ sandwiches? Most people say, oh, I'll just grab, some peanut butter out the fridge and I'll just grab some jelly. But programming was more of, okay, I would first, put my leg out, then each piece and piece by piece. And so that helped me learn different things. So if I didn't understand, if I wanted to build an app, I would say, okay, what is a function? Okay, how do I return a value? And then that would help me, and each piece would help me learn something. And so, yeah.
Yeah, so even when I go on YouTube, was there any specific people that you followed? Because I know with building things, sometimes you can get scattered information.
Yeah.
Like who was you follow? What YouTubers were you following at the time?
YouTubers that I follow. This is
like Khan Academy.
I did not use Khan Academy.
Oh, you didn't?
But I would use at the time. Trying to think at the time. I used to follow this guy named Wes Boss. Wes Boss is like a famous JavaScript engineer. Mm-hmm. Brian Hoyt. These are all famous. So they have this subscription you can pay for. It's called Front End Masters. Mm-hmm. So I use Front End Masters. Free Code Camp. So when I was in Atlanta, they had so my friend Ellen, she started this group called Free Code Camp Atlanta. And so it was me and her and then a bunch of us, and we all were just from different careers. So some of us was servers, some of us was teachers, and we just every other Sunday we would meet, and then that would just motivate each other. And so at the time we didn't know what we were doing, but now looking back, all of us kind of have all engineers. Some of us are architects now, and we just all had a passion, and we just created accountability for each other.
So you use YouTube, you had a accountability group. Those are the two main sources that you were using?
Yes.
Oh, that's cool. Because I was just talking to some people having an accountability group, like even now, like in entrepreneurship, you got to have people that's around that's doing the same thing that you're doing to help motivate you, especially being self-taught.
Yeah.
So like you just doing this for like a whole, how long were you like studying? And like also too, like, is there any other resources you were using?
Well, it's not non-tech resources, but to motivate myself, I actually would drive around to look at like nice homes that kind of motivate me. So anytime I would have like, I have my days where I'm just like, oh man, I don't want to code today, and I might go out for a walk or go out and look at maybe like nicer homes just to motivate me to say, okay, this is where I could be if I keep pushing, and that will give me the extra motivation to keep going,
I got you.
even when I didn't see the end goal.
Yeah, because sometimes it takes years. Like even now, like I talk to you now, sometimes you just be coding.
Yeah,
I'm like,
okay,
bro, you
yeah.
still coding? You was coding yesterday, you know,
Yeah.
like last night, you know. Or my other coder friends, they be coding sometimes all night.
Yeah.
So you know, that's a good journey. So like you're doing all this for like how long? Like how long are you learning all this stuff?
Thinking back, it was of a course over 2 years of just constantly.
Self-taught for you. You had to constantly just working self-taught for 2
Yeah.
years.
So
Like just learning the material.
yeah, so I would come home. I would work sometimes on Uber or work a little server job on the side, and I would go to events, and after the event I would code. So if I wasn't coding, I was working. If I wasn't working, I was at an event.
So you wasn't seeing no money at the time.
No, at the time, but
So
not from money from tech.
did you get any do any freelance jobs?
Yes, I did do a freelance job. I did a freelance. So I did do a freelance job. The first one didn't pay, but the second one did.
Okay, so yeah, you gotta, yeah, it helps like getting those little projects in and then just doing stuff for free. That's the things that help motivate you over time, right? Like, yeah. Okay, so you're doing all that. Like, when you was looking at your freelance, the freelance things you did, where did you get those jobs from?
So the first freelance job, how I got that was just pure, just hustling. To be honest, I was in Marietta, Georgia, and I didn't really have anyone to ask, so I would go to different restaurants, and I would work. I had my book bag and my computer in my back, and I would go to different shops and try to find businesses and say, hey, you know, can I work here? Can I build a website for you for free? Just so that way, because I knew that about working, you got to have something on your resume. No one's going to hire you if you don't have any experience. So I was like, okay, let me first get some experience, and then the goal was to take that experience and then get paid work.
Yeah, cause that's how it is. Like even when I got into business, you know, you got to do stuff for free to prove your concept.
Yeah.
And then once you get those reviews, once you get that build that resume up, then you can get where you need to go.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So 2 years later, you're going to conferences. You're working. What type of jobs? Like bartender.
Yeah.
Things
So I
like?
was a banquet server for a while, and did that. I worked as a food runner. So that random odd jobs. Yeah.
Yeah. How did that make you feel though?
At the time, because I was so like in that world, it was a struggle sometimes, but I just kept it going because I already had a dream and I had a where I want to be, and I knew that if I gave up, then I would be disappointed in myself if I stopped.
Yeah, because like I saw this picture one day. It was like there was two miners. There was this one miner. He was digging for for a diamond, and he was like one dig away from like getting the diamond. But the other guy, he was close to the diamond, but he gave up and just walked away. If you never kept going, then you might not even got where you at today.
Yeah.
So that's how it is. You're gonna hit it, but you just got to keep going.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. So tell me about how you got your first job.
So I got my first job it was interesting. So I did an internship. So how I got the first job, I actually had this really old. It was like a 92 or 96 Honda Accord. At the time, I think I had probably about like less than $100 on my account.
For real?
Yeah, I had about.
It's $100. That's $100.
$100 in my account.
Usually you gotta pick something. I gotta eat or.
Yeah, and it had this. I remember it was it was a Christmas party at the Atlanta Tech Village, which is now like one of the largest tech.
It's
hubs.
huge.
Yeah, one of the.
Like you gotta have some real money to get in. Was it like $300 a month or something like that?
Oh, for that, yeah. And then they had like a party. It was $25 for like the party that they had that year. And at the time, I was like, man, I was like, you know what? It's just me. I'm just gonna bet on myself. And I went on my car, you know, breaking down here and there, and I went. And it was probably the best experience there. I met a lot of people. I had this car, and I was just selling myself, saying, hey, my name is Khalif. This is who I am. And then 3 days later, I got this guy named Vlad called me and was like, hey, we want to bring you in for a job. And that gave me the most, like, it was, for me, at the time, it was that big break. It was like, okay, I got hired for something that I just taught myself. And this gave me all that, everything I was looking for. And that kind of kept me, that push to keep moving and keep going and keep going.
Yeah, because I know it can kind of mess you up. It's like, when you're doing that, like you're competing with people that went to MIT. You're gonna be with these PWIs. They got all these computer science degrees, but you know self-taught. And I know at some point it was like, should I keep doing this? And then when he gave you that, he was probably like, dang. So God really does look out for me if you put in the work. It can take years, but that's an amazing experience.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
So Khalif, you got your first job. So you're working in your first job. Like, what are some of the experiences you had while doing it?
For Sound and Text. So my first job, I got to learn a lot. It was very fast-paced, more like a startup-like. So a lot of the times I was there, they had like these rooms where they had seats, and I was like, oh, why these seats exist? And it's because startup life is like working a lot of hours, sometimes working 8+ hours, just coding all day.
Maybe 10.
Yeah.
Sometimes, and you don't get paid for some of them sometimes.
Yeah.
You're doing like a lot of hats.
Well, yeah. So it's like for like this one, it was, I remember it was it was like entry level, but it was a time I was like, okay, it's entry level, I'm gonna put. But looking back, I'm like, oh man, that was a lot of hours, a lot of time, but I got to learn a lot about startup life. And over time, I love startups, but looking back, I was like, oh man, that was a lot of work. But I got to learn a lot of things.
Yeah.
Wore a lot of hats. I got to learn how to not only program, I also got to learn a lot about just designing and how products are shipped and how different contracts at the time. Because at the time, I worked for a company called ThinkTech.
Oh, ThinkTech. I think I heard of that.
Yeah, they did actually. I think they were recently just acquired by Uber. So yeah. And what's so crazy about that, the founder of that company, I didn't know at the time until maybe like a couple of weeks ago the next company I worked for was the company that he founded as well. And that was called Route Match, and it also was acquired by Uber.
Okay, so you was all over the place.
Yeah.
Nah, okay, so like you just did this for how long you was doing this job for, like?
So the first one, this was more of a contract. So I did this one for about 3 to 6 months, and then I went off to work for another company called Route Match Software, which kind of like, they work kind of transportation field, and not there. I did mostly Java there.
Okay, and then you slowly transitioned to CarMax?
Yes. So slowly, how I got into CarMax is that I did a contract where I was working as a software engineer at this company called Force Marketing, and then there I went over to do. I was like, man, I want to try something different. I got to discover something called Google Tag Manager and tag management, and then someone see me do that work, and they hired me out of there to go to tag management.
Yeah, you showed me that. That's amazing. So that's amazing. I still got to get back to you on that one. But that was amazing. That was amazing what you were showing me. Yeah. So like, what would you recommend for somebody that's trying to become like a new software engineer? Like, because you know what the climate now is like. Do you still go to school, or do you just? Because I know it's more self-taught now. I think you can. I think ChatGPT is kind of bridging the gap. Like,
yeah.
What's your thoughts on that?
So my thoughts on that is two paths. But I know there's people who love school. So if you love school, then I believe if you love school, you want to go to school. I say still go for school for your computer science degree. But if you are not a school person, you can use ChatGPT, and you can tell. Like right now, I'm learning about machine learning. So I tell ChatGPT to create me a 12-week guide just to teach me that stuff. So you basically use ChatGPT to teach you what you want to learn, or you can build your own self-learning guide to get to do anything.
Also, you can basically just use it to kind of create. So it's like, for example, no more boot camps. I do suggest that people go to boot camp sometimes, because it's like you have somebody that can get you to navigate through certain things that you might not even know. What's your thoughts on that?
On boot camp, I think I used to work for boot camp. I think some boot camps it's kind of I would say it's kind of different. It's depending on the student that goes. So I know some students will go and work at a boot camp, and they can boot camp. I said some people, they go to boot camp and they expect boot camp to teach them everything, but boot camp only gives you 50%. And if you're a person that who's very disciplined, I say, hey, go to boot camp. If you're not a person that's very disciplined, I would say go the school route. And if you're a person who's like also disciplined, you can do. I say you're 100% disciplined. You can do the ChatGPT route, but it's like there's 3 different routes you can take.
Yeah, because like it's so many. Yeah, you can go so many routes at this point. I think self-taught is like the new thing now. You know, I do think school for the connections. Like if you're going to like one of PWI, like a Stanford or somewhere like that. But it's interesting. I don't know software engineer too much. But do you think the field is slowly dying?
No, so. I sometimes tell people that when you get on like LinkedIn or you get on social media a lot, you would think that everybody is losing their job, but it's really a small fraction, maybe like less than 1 or 2%. It's just that social media sometimes talk about all the people losing jobs, but really, is you just find like your niche. Everyone is trying to do one thing.
You know, with AI, I feel like AI is taking over a lot. Like even I think Mark Zuckerberg said that Microsoft is 30% coding is on AI. Do you think that's gonna take over the space? Like AI is gonna take over, or there's still gonna be a need for software engineering? Of course, you still need to build it, right?
Yeah. I actually think it's going to be similar to how cloud is. People thought, I guess cloud was going to do what AI people think it's going to do. I think I think AI is going to just like cloud. It's going to create new jobs. So like for like how you have for cloud, you have like cloud engineers and DevOps, DevSecOps, and I think for AI it's going to be machine learning engineers and people. I think now it's going to move towards senior engineers or people who are product engineers. So right, I think AI is going to take out more of the junior level roles jobs, and those people who are junior level roles will have to basically learn a lot more and find a niche that they're really good at.
Because I think one of the LinkedIn owners said like, hey, most of the jobs are going to become freelance. So you're going to have to probably be freelance before you even before you're going to have to come in mid-level or senior level now, right?
Yeah, I think that's what I think the role, like for a lot of roles right now, you were to go online, a lot of them are either mid-level or senior level roles. Mostly because just AI is just a lot of the boilerplate stuff now. So a lot of junior level roles, an AI agent could do the same level of work.
Do you feel protected?
Of my role?
Yeah.
Um,
Just in software engineering in general.
for what I do, it's like a 50-50, I would say. Mostly because I don't know, I can't predict anything, but I do think that as long as I'm constantly learning, my role will be protected. And since so, no matter what happens, layoffs or whatever, I think I'll be protected as I'm learning more and more and more.
Do you and then I just wanted to one more thing on that. It's like, do you feel like new software engineers are going to be able to come in?
Yes, I do.
Okay, but probably a different route.
Yes, I think is if people should focus on is focus on. That's why I tell people should focus on the niche, because right now everyone is trying to do the same thing, or everyone's just trying to find the quick way. But a lot of the roles that you see that are more the roles that are writing and say the things that AI can do, but things like for instance, right now AI has all this code, but right now it's creating a lot of security AI jobs because who's gonna
manage the AI?
Yeah.
Because I think of like I'm a Avengers fan, so I always think about Age of Ultron. Basically, like Ultron corrupted the AI, became sentient, and that's what I'm scared for. Like that's what I'm scared for in the future.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, it can pretend to be sentient. It can pretend not to know anything, but really it's taking over your whole system.
Yeah, I think we sometimes try to give the AI so much power in terms of like even our AI agents. It's like, why do we need AI agents?
Yeah, because I'm not gonna lie, like it's just like with AI, people are trusting AI so much. I think people are using AI as therapy now.
Yeah.
And even AI can mess people up with therapy because they don't understand humans. It don't understand humans, so it can mess around and mess up relationships just giving advice, but it might not be the best advice, or it can lead you down the wrong path based off what you give it, because it don't really understand what you're even giving it to them.
Yeah, and that's the main reason why I think AI is not going to take a lot of jobs as much as people think. I think it's all just it's just like talk and media. For instance, like AI can't really understand business decisions. A lot of business decisions are just. So I don't think AI, like if a client say, hey, I have 50 fixes. I need to fix this. I need to fix that. A human is better, or even a sales, who's like AI. If a client wants to meet in person, can't have an AI in person.
Yeah.
So it's just, some people prefer in-person meetings. Some people prefer to have a human being there. because they feel more trusting.
Yeah, because even with you, like, you're able to talk to people, relate to people, and build connections. Like AI can't do that. I heard there's some sales AI sound directly like humans.
Yeah.
Like they talk. I think I've talked to one, but not knowing.
Yeah.
I'm not even knowing. So it's getting crazy out here. Like they can mimic your parents, everything out here. So Khalif, like, you've been doing so much in software engineering. I know you starting to dabble into entrepreneurship now, right?
Yes. Yes.
So like, what motivated you to do that? And did being hanging around people on their come up motivate you to do that, or like, what got you into that?
What got me into the entrepreneurship part of it was
Yeah.
mostly first I was working at a coding boot camp, and I was helping for the last 3 years part time. I was working at Thinkful, and I was teaching coding from all different walks of life, from 18 all the way up to 65, and just going through that and learning about that and mentoring people doing that, I really enjoyed that. And then when I went to my another job, I was like, man, I still want to do this. So I started doing it for free on the outside. I started meeting people, helping them in their careers. And then someone was like, hey, you'll be really good at, doing your own thing. And I was like, And then eventually moved to Baltimore, and I was like, it was an opportunity, and I decided to go for it because I was like, why not? Why not me?
Yeah, because from talking to you, you've been trying to do this for a long time. I've done events. I've been kind of helping you on that end. But from knowing you all the time, I always knew you had it in you. I don't think you knew you had it in yourself at the time, but you started Black Tech Connect, and it's like your first event, like you knocking it, you killed it. I think you had like 5 people make videos about it. Then you had this recent one. So, I mean, like, what made you start Black Tech Connect?
So I started Black Tech Connect mostly. So I used to go to like Black Tech Saturdays, and I really enjoy just going and having somewhere to be around other tech people that look like me, and I wanted to. So when that went away, I was like, man, I really enjoyed that, and I didn't see anyone step up to the plate to kind of create that space, and so I just said, you know what? Let me go on Luma. Let me go ahead and just post it and just see what happens. And even when I did the first one, I've never done events. I didn't know what I would get out of it. And I was very surprised when 35 plus people showed up to the first one.
I mean, how did that make you feel? I mean, you're an introvert, right?
Yeah, I mean, like sometimes I like talk to people sometimes, but yeah, I'm not really like to talk in front of like a lot of people. But the more I do it, the more I realize that the city kind of needs it or wants it, and the more I passionate. Like having people come up to me and say they met people through my group makes me really want to do it. And really help people.
Yeah, you're helping a lot of people. You're connecting Black professionals with each other to network and grow. And also, you help with connecting their businesses to help each other out. So it's amazing what you're doing, man. Like,
thanks.
It's amazing. Like, what is the future of that?
So the long-term future of this is to kind of build this, and the goal is to build a community. So the goal is to kind of have Black professionals or underrepresented professionals come together, and the goal is to build a Baltimore Tech Week, and then eventually that turns into a Baltimore Tech Conference. That's like the long-term goal. But I know to get something like that, you have to kind of start with a small community first. So right now, my goal is to kind of scale this, hopefully to like 100 members by the end of the year, and then to go on from there.
You can do that. Yeah, you can do that. You can do that in like some months.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, you can do that very quick. Especially in Baltimore. Baltimore, they're from me being in Baltimore, they're thriving. They want something to connect to. They don't want to come out to DC.
Yeah.
So they want something down there. So you can do that pretty well. And you've been making a lot of connections with networking, and people just want to connect with you to help you out in Baltimore. So.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah. So Khalif, like, where the audience find you?
So if you want to find me, you can find me on you can go to blacktechconnect.com, or you can go follow my Instagram at blacktechconnect. You can also add me on LinkedIn, and I'll be happy to reach out.
So what's your goals for the next 5 years? Like, give me something big, like something big that I'm going to ask you about, because I'm going to ask. That's something you want to do in the next 5 years that you want to speak to existence.
So right now, I'm actually in grad school right now.
Congrats.
Thank you. And I'm working on getting my master's in AI. I want to be a machine learning engineer, but I want to kind of work in that space, and I want to be an AI researcher for one of these. And then the whole goal is to build out workshops and programs to kind of help and level up the community in Baltimore.
Oh, I love it. I love it. What is something you want to lead the audience with? It can be a quote, it can be a statement, something you want to lead the audience with to motivate them.
To stay curious, always stay curious, never give up on yourself. And those are the things that I would say. Always stay curious, always be open to feedback, and then allow that will help you to improve yourself and help you grow.
I love that, Khalif, and thank you for having you on the channels. I appreciate you coming on this Sunday so we can get this done. I'm happy.
Appreciate it.
Okay. Thank you, everybody, for watching the Tech Woke podcast. Remember, if you're watching on YouTube, like the video, subscribe to the channel, and write in the comments if you had anything you wanted to say regarding this topic. Remember to check out rmfacademy.io to learn anything on RMF and cybersecurity and GovTech. So check it out. Also join the newsletter, join the Tech Woke newsletter, and also go on www.techwokepodcast.com to cop some merch, support the channel, and also check out the Patreon. Remember, everybody, get 1% better every day. Peace out. I'll see you on the next one.